So I thought I'd do a little video blogging. Haven't done that yet, and I think that I should be, since I'm doing regular videos. I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that are bugging me right now regarding trucking. It's nothing unusual, it's just stuff that happens, but it's just kind of ganged up on me this year, and it's a little frustrating. It's affecting things I want to do with friends and family this year. So it's a little bit of a rant. Of course, at the beginning, it's all been this year. Normally what I do is I take time off. I take about a week or so off in January or February, because those are slow months for freight. It's after the first of the year. I'm not exactly sure the reasons why, but anyway, there's reasons why there's not a lot of freight available in the first quarter of the year, but specifically January, and to a lesser extent February. Anyway, so I try to schedule time off at home during that time. Anyway, I was working my way home, and then of course I got nailed by Swift, or a Swift driver, who, while parked in the parking lot, he pulled out. He was parked next to me over here, and he pulled out. He had all kinds of room, but he didn't pay attention, and he cut too soon, and he drug his trailer across the front of my tractor. Messed it all up. Still drivable, but still, I mean, I had to get it fixed. So the end of January, or third week of January, I got the truck into the shop, and Swift covered the cost of the repairs, but I was down for 3 weeks. And that was a fair amount of time. I was not anticipating being down that long, or, really couldn't afford to. Anyway, got the truck back, and then got back out on the road, and things were kind of going well. I ran around. I got the truck back second week of February. I should have wrote down all these timelines. Anyway, then it was March, I think, and I even had it on video. Took a rock to the windshield and had to get the windshield replaced. Now that was fully covered by insurance, but I had a little bit of downtime, not much. I mean, I took care of it. I went home, took a day off, got it fixed, had some other maintenance issues to take care of on the truck, routine stuff. And so that wasn't really an issue. It's just, one more thing that happened. So then in April or May, must have been April, the air conditioning, it was May, the air conditioning went out on my truck. I had a leak in the Freon line, and all the Freon leaked out. And so now it's May. I was driving across Arizona. I was on my way to California, had to drive across the Mojave Desert. No air conditioning. I had to get this fixed. Well, I couldn't get it fixed where I was, and I needed to get this load, that particular load, and needed to get that delivered in Southern California. I didn't want to be late. The truck was running fine. It was just no AC, so I had no AC for a couple of days. Anyway, so I made that delivery, and then I set myself up. I found a load to Las Vegas to get home. Took it home, put the truck in the shop. They fixed the Freon leak. Had to replace some stuff, recharge everything. Works great now. Then, while it was in there, I had them do a chassis lube. It was due for that, so it wasn't unexpected. But they found another problem. They found a problem with one of the hub covers or something. Anyway, for one of the drive axles was loose, or leaking. I'm sorry, it was leaking. And so they had to take care of that. And that had created a problem where they had to replace the brake shoes for that particular axle on one side of one axle. Anyway, so then I was down for, altogether, all that stuff, I was down a week. Unexpectedly, unplanned. Not unwelcome. I was glad that I had some time off at home, but it wasn't planned. So got that fixed. Now that did cost me. All those repairs and maintenance for this truck, I pay for. And That week, just for all the repairs, was well over $1,500. Now that comes out of my maintenance account. My maintenance account is, money is added to my maintenance account every week, out of my settlements. I forget how much it is. It's $100 to $150 a week or something like that. Goes into my maintenance account to cover all the things I got to do. Routine as well as catastrophic maintenance. And I would call an AC leak and a bearing leak kind of sort of catastrophic. Anyway, then the other thing that happened at about the same time as the Freon leak happened was that I had this body panel fall off my truck. And it's the body panel that covers the area where the batteries go. And I knew it was loose. It had come off before, but I didn't lose it. I was able to just take it off. It was flopping loose, and I knew it was going to fly off, so I had taken it off. And then a few months ago, and actually that was this year as well, come to think of it, that was another thing. I had to get 4 new batteries in the truck. That cost me $900 or something, and that was earlier this year. I had forgotten all about that. I should have got out my maintenance documents and made a list. Anyway, in the process, anyway, back to the battery panel cover. Since the guy was working on that, you know, I asked him if he could do anything to fix that. I didn't want to replace the panel if I didn't have to. So he jury-rigged it. He put in some far too small screws, one in each corner, and it held it in place for a while, a few weeks. Then it started coming loose again. And about the same time, in fact, it was the day before the Freon leak manifested itself, that panel fell off somewhere in New Mexico, just gone. I get out of I stop at a truck stop, take a quick break, and I get out and I'm like, oh damn, it's gone. Well, stuff like that is a flag for highway patrol to come up and pull you over for a roadside inspection. It didn't happen, fortunately, but I was expecting it to. Anyway, but I had to get it fixed. And I by that time, I already priced out the panel, just to buy the panel. It was $346 for this rectangular fiberglass, I guess, panel. And even then, it comes in a neutral color, probably white or gray or something, some neutral color. So in addition to purchasing it, it has to be painted, and then it has to be installed. So I decided, okay, well, we'll get I already had the body shop that did the body work in January/February. I was real happy with their work, and I decided I'll just have them do this, or at least I'll buy the panel, give it to them, they can paint it, then I'll install it. Well, it turns out that's not practical or even feasible for, you know, anyone who's not a body shop. It turns out that, well, yes, I could have bought the panel myself, taken it over there. I would have, you know, there was no cost savings to do that. It was possible that they could get a discount. As it turns out, they did not get a discount on the part, because they would have to buy it from Kenworth as well, because that's all you can do is buy it from Kenworth. Did I mention the panel came off because it's a problem with this model of Kenworth. They had a lot of them do that. Unfortunately, my truck was a year out of warranty to cover that, so I was out of luck. And my insurance didn't cover it. Even my comprehensive didn't cover it, because it wasn't part of an accident. And they didn't buy my line about this Ninja Stealth Deer kicking it off. So they said, no, that ain't gonna cut it. So I have to pay for it. So anyway, back to the part about doing the body shop thing. Yes, they'll get it for me. Yes, they'll paint it for me, but they have to install it. And they said, you just can't. I forget the reason why, something about rivets or something or other. It's a big pain in the neck. And Julie at BRC, which is the shop that I go to twice this year so far, she says, Kenworth doesn't even do it. Our local Kenworth in Las Vegas, they don't have a body shop. They outsource almost everything to BRC. And she says, yeah, we do these for them all the time, because they can't do it. So I can't do it. So, I mean, there's a lot of things I can do. I'm pretty mechanically inclined and I'm pretty handy with tools, but it just wasn't feasible. So, okay, fine. You guys do it. And it was still $800 for a silly panel. And I had to pay that out of my maintenance account. At least I was able to set it up with my maintenance account. Or so we thought. Yeah, that was a whole nother story. My maintenance account is managed by Peterbilt Truck Care. That's who I call. They're like AAA for truckers. And it's set up by Schneider Finance, who I lease my truck through. They have this relationship with them. They set all this up. And anyway, while Schneider managing my maintenance account, I mean, that's where the money goes. I even get a little interest on that money as it stacks up. Not much, but a little. And so anytime I have an issue, I call Peterbilt Truck Care, tell them what's up. And if I'm at a shop, they call the shop, set up an authorization. And so, but BRC was not already set up as a vendor with them, so we had to set it up, or I had to get them to set it up. And plus, we want to make sure the BRC got paid right away, because that's how they work. They get paid right away. They don't, they don't have the capital to outlay for all these parts and everything, and they can't wait, 15, 30 days to get paid on a net 15 or net 30. So anyway, we set that all up. I coordinate with my contact at Peterbilt Truck Care, and they contacted Julie at BRC, and yes, they set up and said, yes, we can do this. So they said, we can pay you with a credit card right over the phone, and everyone's happy. Great. So we do this. I head back out on the road for a week, because they're going to need the time to get the part and get it painted and do whatever they got to do. So I took one for another week. After being off for a week, I went out for a week, came back, dropped the truck off at BRC. They needed it for like a day, and when they were all done, Julie called me and says, yeah, we're all done, we're just waiting on payment from the Peterbilt Truck Care. I'm like, okay, great, call me when that's all done. So I was at home probably working on a video. So that was in the morning. So later in the afternoon, I'm thinking, well, geez, it's getting kind of late, haven't heard from her. Let me run out, I want to grab a bite to eat. I got a couple errands to run. So I head out, and after lunch, I'm headed to an errand, and I talk to Donna there, and she says, no, they haven't heard back from them yet. And I'm like, well, geez, it's getting kind of late on a Friday. I gotta have the truck. I've booked a load to pick up on Sunday, and I gotta have the truck, and it's Friday, and BRC's not open on the weekend. So I'm like, you know what? I better get over there and find out what's going on. So I get over there, and I find out that someone didn't pass the word on to whoever was responsible for making sure that this got paid immediately. Because whoever was handling it on Friday said, well, no, we don't do that. We're going to send you a check and yada, yada, yada. And we're like, Julie's, and we get someone on the phone, on my phone. I put them on speaker, and Julie and I are both going, no, that's not what we set up. And so finally, Julie says, just take the truck. I'll work it out Monday with them, and I'll let you know. And so I took the truck and got on down the road on Sunday, and then Tuesday I got really busy. Tuesday is yesterday. Today is Wednesday, and so Tuesday I get all wrapped, or Monday I'm all wrapped up and making a run. I didn't call Julie. I figured she would call me. And then Tuesday again, and then finally Julie does call me and says they're getting it worked out, finally. But I had to, she says, expect a call from Peterbilt, or Peterbilt Truck Care. So a few minutes later, I get that call. And then I talk to the guy, and I'm like, what's going on? We set this up. He goes, yeah, I know, something happened, I don't know, a miscommunication across wires, yada, yada. I said, okay, but can you take care of it? They took care of me. Please get them paid. And he goes, yep, take care of it right now. A little while later, I get a phone call from Julie. And she goes, yeah, we got it taken care of finally. So Tuesday morning, I had an early pickup. I had to pick up a live load in Fontana, California, which is in Southern California, near San Bernardino, at 6 a.m. So I get there actually early, and beating down their door going, hey, let me in. I was trying to check in, and their computers weren't even done booting up yet. It was funny, actually. Anyway, got loaded, went well, and went back to the Petro in Ontario, which is only 3.5 miles driving distance away from there. Needed to pop in and make a pit stop. And I get into the truck stop parking lot, get out of the truck, and I hear this hissing sound, and I'm like, what is that? And it's hard to hear. It's a good thing I have good hearing, because most people, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't hear that, especially with all the other truck noise around, all the engines, the truck engines, reefers and stuff. And there wasn't a lot of trucks running because it was already, well, it was still kind of early in the morning. It was before 8 o'clock. It was like 7:30. But I heard this, and I'm like, what is that noise? And I turned around and looked, because it's not a normal hissing noise. And suddenly I realized that my left steer tire, which is the left front tire, has a big old nail in it, or something. It looked like a spike, not a railroad spike, but, you know, some kind of a spike in my tire. And I'm like, how the hell did that happen? I haven't done any off-roading. You know, what I mean by that is gone into a dirt lot or anything. Because I've picked up nails and things like that from, you know, driving or parking in a dirt lot. But anyway, no, I was on pavement the whole time. I was on the city streets, and then I pulled into this parking lot, and it's all paved, full of trucks running around. Of course, you know, something could have fallen off. Anyway, so I look, and there's this spike head sticking out of my tire, my drive tire, my new tire. I just got this tire, I don't know, weeks ago, or, you know, a couple of months ago. I don't even remember when. I'll have to look that up. And I'm like, holy crap! And now I'm thinking, I gotta get this fixed. I gotta, you know, that's my first thought. Well, actually, my first thought is, I can't just sit here. I have to get this truck to a shop now. Because what happens with a steer tire is once it loses air, and you only got one on each side in the front, the tire can come off. I had that happen once. The tire can come off the rim, and now you're screwed. You're just sitting in the middle of whatever you stopped. That's it. That's where you are. And I'm thinking, oh crap. Well, they have a shop there at the truck stop, fortunately. So I hop back in the truck, fire up, and I drive around the parking lot and park near where the shop is. And I run into the counter, the shop counter, and I tell them what's up. And they says, okay, well, you need to call your Peterbilt truck care people and set this up. So I said, okay, fine. Can I at least pull up to a bay so that you know, the tire's going flat? If I don't get in front of some place where I can get some more air real quick, we'll have to send the emergency truck 30 yards to the parking lot and charge me however much that costs, just because I wasn't in the shop. So they finally agreed, yeah, drop your trailer and pull up to bay 4, and that way they could air me up if need be, before I would have to pull around to another window or another bay. So that's what I did, and wound up having to sit for a while, worked on some video stuff, and wound up getting a new tire to replace the newest tire I had in my truck. That's the thing that calls me. I mean, not that any of them I don't want to replace any of them. Actually, all of my tires are fairly new, but that was the newest one. I just had that replaced a few weeks or months ago. I don't remember which. Anyway, kind of aggravated about all that stuff. Really aggravated. Not just about the money, but the inconvenience and the downtime, which translates to money. Fortunately, now let me count my blessings. Fortunately, for most of that, for the larger downtime, like the truck getting repaired after getting swifted, getting the air conditioner and wheel hub leak fixed, and getting the side panel replaced. All of that I was able to do at home. I got to stay at home. I didn't have to stay in a hotel, you know, on the other end of the country. So I feel blessed that I was able to do that. Secondly, while I was grumbling and thinking about recording this video last night, just as I was going to bed, I started seeing the news reports of this big apartment building fire in London. And, you know, we didn't really know much last night other than, well, it was a god-awful fire. I mean, it was like Burning Man in London. I mean, the whole building, I can't even get over that. How does a building, a modern building, burn like that? Whatever, I'm sure we'll get the facts in due course. Anyway, but I was thinking about all the people that lived there. Those even that survived and weren't even injured. I mean, there were obviously deaths. The last word I heard this morning, there were 12 confirmed deaths, and they're expecting more. I'm not surprised. And a number of injuries, and I don't recall how many there were. But I'm thinking, all these people that even, you know, weren't killed or injured, they're homeless. All of their belongings gone. And this is true every time there's a fire like this, even in whether it's a person's home or an apartment structure, you know, a single or two-level apartment structure that we've seen a few times here in the U.S. Anytime that happens, people's lives are destroyed for a while. And I'm thinking, all this whining that I'm thinking about, you know, what happened to me, and I'm thinking, but that didn't happen to me. Wow. I feel bad for those people. And it just kind of puts things into perspective a little bit. And that's what the bottom line is for this particular rant, is despite whatever bad stuff is happening to you in your life, try to keep it into perspective. And we're having a lot of problem with that in modern society. People are devastated because one person won an election and the person that they wanted didn't win the election, and it's devastation, and the world is coming to an end. I don't know. We've seen many times people, you know, go to, especially during pre-Christmas shopping, people go to buy Christmas gifts at Walmart or some other store, and there's a riot for Christmas gifts. A riot. It's just stuff. Be thankful that you have the people in your life, and that's something that I need to remind myself of more. So anyway, for all the people in my life, my family, I'm glad you're there. And anyway, okay, enough ranting. I guess I'm going to be done. Thanks. What is that? That looks like a weasel running across the parking. Oh, it's a squirrel. Gotta be a squirrel. I don't know. It's long though. Elongated. It's gotta be a squirrel. Anyhow, squirrel. That's right. Easily distracted. That's me. I don't even remember where the hell I was. Again, good thing I can edit this.